Well, back in Chicago, we're set to go. Both teams out on the floor. Look at the starting lineups for the Bullets. Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, 7'7" George Murasad, Rod Strickland, Calbert Cheaney, and the Bulls with their usual starting lineup. So that means Phil Jackson once again will come off the bench with Dennis Rodman and Toni Kukoc. Hugh Evans, Don Payton, Nolan Fine are the officials as Game 2 gets underway. And Strickland off the spin is able to hit. He got off early on Friday night. Getting down court, but he blew it to Michael Jordan right there.
Well, a couple of things that we saw the other night. First of all, the key matchup between Michael Jordan and Strickland. One of the reasons for putting the bigger Jordan on the smaller Strickland is take away his post up, and he basically backed down Michael on the first play and shot a jump shot right over him.
In Game 1 here in Chicago on Friday, the Bulls won it 98-86. It was not easy. The Bulls led by 4 at the half. They were the Bullets down by only 4, 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, and then Chicago able to pull away due to the play of Jordan and the outside shooting of Steve Kerr. Here's Pippen, fouled by Webber. So Chris Webber, who got involved in early foul trouble the other night, picks up the foul.
Well, the big factor in the game the other night, all of the hustle stats going Chicago Bulls' way. You see the offensive rebounds, a lot of that Dennis Rodman getting his 6 of 9 on the offensive glass and the second chance points, and not necessarily the Bulls forcing those 22 turnovers. Just like George Murasad made the bad soft pass into the lane, is almost the Bullets committing those turnovers themselves.
And an early 20-second timeout is taken by Bullets coach Bernie Bickerstaff. Dennis Rodman will be coming off the bench once again. He had an uneven performance the other day, making his return. Played 23 minutes, just 1 point, 9 rebounds, was ejected. We talked about Rodman with Chris Webber.
Dennis knows me. His antics and all that sideshow, you know. I just look at him as a 36-year-old man acting like a little kid. And I think he also knows that it's easy to be tough when the camera's on.
A 36-year-old man acting like a little kid, says Chris Webber of Dennis Rodman.
Well, Chris Webber has a lot more things to worry about right now besides Dennis Rodman. Big-time foul trouble in Game 1, has already picked up an early one here.
A minute gone by, and the Bulls with a 4-2 lead. And Webber able to stuff it home. A whip pass from Strickland. Michael Jordan guarded by Calbert Cheaney. Rod Hopper. Scottie Pippen being played by Chicago native Juwan Howard. And Pippen for 3. Jordan not able to hit on the follow, and the foul call.
Well, much tougher and tighter defense by the Washington Bullets, forcing Chicago away farther from the basket. And now Michael Jordan just shedding Calbert Cheaney out of the play, and then Cheaney returning the favor, pushed Michael Jordan on that follow-up attempt. But Michael not getting the call, letting the officials know about it.
Foul on Murasad, a non-shooting affair. Chicago Bulls gunning for their 5th championship in 7 years. Finished the regular season at 69-13. They ended up losing 3 of their final 4 games to Detroit, Miami, and the New York Knicks. They fell short in making it back-to-back 70-win seasons. Last year they had a record 72 victories, and what with the injuries suffered, in particular by Toni Kukoc and Dennis Rodman. Bill Wennington is out the rest of the season. There are some who look at the Bulls and say they are vulnerable. And as I say that, Michael Jordan does the usual, hits the jump shot, and the Bulls lead 6-4.
Well, one of the things the Bullets are going to have to be careful of, again, they gave up those 20 offensive rebounds in Game 1, have already given up 3 in just 2 minutes of play in the first quarter.
Webber getting the position, met by the double team, and knocked away by the Bulls. So the Bullets with 8 on the shot clock. Webber able to get it into Murasad. Puts the move on Longley. too many moves, and it's a traveling violation.
Kind of an interesting matchup by the Bulls with Scottie Pippen watching Chris Webber, who you think of as a power player down low. Now, he did get a easy dunk basket once on Pippen on good execution by the Bullets, but he's really a floater. He likes to hang on the perimeter. Caffey playing the more dangerous Howard inside. That
pass intended for Caffey. The Bullets finished the regular season in strong fashion. They finished up 44-38, qualifying for the playoffs. Final day of the season last Sunday in Cleveland as they beat the Cavaliers. Webber with the room. Yes, it's a three for Chris Webber, and the Bullets lead 7-6. Quick transition by the Bulls. Jordan coming up short. Bullets have finished up by winning 16 of their last 21 games, and they extend to the 9-6 lead. For Juwan Howard, his first field goal. The record of 44-38, Washington's best since back in the 78-79 season when they went 54-28. And a loose ball foul. It is on Caffey. Well, as always, we're joined on the sidelines by Ahmad Rashad. Let's check in with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. You know, I talked to Michael Jordan about this matchup with the Bullets, and he said that they knew it was going to be a tough matchup by the way the Bullets played him during the course of the regular season. He said, and that is a good thing because it has not only caught their attention, but it's also helped to get them in the proper focus, the proper frame of mind to win an NBA championship. He said he's not concerned with the scores. All he's concerned with is winning 15 games on his way to another championship, and they got 14 more to go. Marv?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. 15 is certainly the magic number. George Murasan called for that foul. And looking back since 1991 in first round playoff action, the Bulls have been able to coast right through. They've won 19 of 20. The one loss was game 2 to Charlotte. Back in April of 1995, the year that Michael Jordan made his return from the baseball wars. They lost to Charlotte 106-89. The Bulls then went on to win that series and lost to Orlando. Calbert Cheaney on the break, and the Bullets with a fast start lead it 11-6.
Bernie Bickerstaff, the head coach for the Bullets, has to be happy with the aggressive pressing defense of Washington, at least pressing in the half court, challenging passes, challenging shots.
Longley. And again, here come the Bullets. Jordan couldn't draw the foul on the move by Strickland. Harvey Grant checking in after George Murasan picked up that second personal. Harper with the opening. Ron Harper with his first field goal.
And a haymaker pick set by Michael Jordan to free up Harper, and Rod Strickland not wanting to switch with Jordan, getting hung up on the play, enabling Harper to get to the basket as Strickland and Cheaney miscommunicate.
Pippen eluding Howard, behind the back for Caffey, and fouled, hit on the reach-in by Strickland.
Part of the triangle offense, and a key part is swinging the ball to the weak side. This time they don't do it with the pass. Michael Jordan coming up, and Cheaney, you see his reluctance to switch on that play and leave Michael Jordan, and Ron Harper took advantage of that just little bit of daylight. There's some of Michael's huge playoff games. Way back when in 1986, 63 against the Boston Celtics.
Jason Caffey, who averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds. Solid season. Started 19 games, receiving the starting assignments due to the injuries and suspensions. Leveled on Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman in all missed 27 games due to injuries and suspension, and the Bulls went 21-6 without Rodman. But there's no question they want him in top form for this playoff run. And as Howard sets up, he was blocked by Caffey. Timeout is called. 6:56 remaining in the first. The Bullets to a 4-0 stretch, making it to the playoffs. Had that huge game last Sunday in Cleveland, 23 points, 17 rebounds, with making the playoffs on the line, and hoping to turn it here today from what took place in game 1.
Well, big problems for Chris Webber in game 1. He got into foul trouble, only able to play 24 minutes, and when 4 of your 7 shots are coming from behind the arc, well, you make 2. That's very good, but Chris Webber at 6'9" with those long arms has to get more inside.
Dennis Rodman, Toni Kukoc have checked in for the first time. Here's Grant launching the 3. Hopper with the rebound. Toni Kukoc only 1 for 10 the other night. Met by Juwan Howard. Dennis Rodman being chased by his good friend Chris Webber. And here's Michael Jordan. The game is tied at 11.
Well, the Bulls are making a conscious effort of pushing the ball up the floor. They seem to have gotten a lot out of watching tape of game 1, where the Bullets show a propensity to get back defensively very slowly.
That pass surprised Cheaney, but able to handle it and hit. Pass was thrown behind him. Good recovery. Bullets lead by 2 as we come up on the halfway point of this first quarter. The steal by Howard. It's a 3-on-2. Strickland with the pull-up. Howard kept it alive. Bullets controlling the offensive board. Here's Webber with the hook.
Good friends, Chris Webber and Juwan Howard. First of all, Howard jumped on the back of Webber to keep one of them alive, and they were battling each other more than the Chicago Bulls.
Energetic, solid start for the Bullets. Hopper, Webber off the boards. And the pass, the outlet thrown away. So it goes back to Chicago.
And Chris knows he made a bad one right there. Points to himself, and just by putting it in the one hand, the fundamentally unsound play, whipping the ball out there rather than the 2-hand chest pass, where you get a little more snap to it, a little more direction, and you don't make those careless turnovers.
Toni Kukoc just made it back from the strained right arch injuries. Had problems with the foot all season. Passing on the 3, going into the drive. Yes, and it counts.
Well, Toni realized after game 1 he did not like his outside shot very much, taking advantage of the pressure defense to get to the basket where he might get a layup or might get a foul. He's going to wind up to get them both. There you see as Toni tried it from all different places, all different angles, and generally when Toni Kukoc makes his first shot, the rest of his game falls into place in a positive way.
Last season won the 6th man award, then kind of poked at it because he felt he could be starting more. Usually at his best with the ball on the move, particularly in the half court, but these days he's trying to find his rhythm as he gets back into it and opens with the 3-point play. Bullets now lead 15-14. 5 minutes left in the first. Rodman, but he stepped out of bounds.
So far, Michael Jordan, his effort so far has been directed at trying to keep Rod Strickland from getting into the lane, either for his own shot or to make a pass to one of his big men underneath or a kick out to a shooter. Michael doesn't care if Strickland pulls up and takes the jump shot, wants to keep him out of the lane.
Well, the other night, Strickland had 19 points. 10, though, came in the first quarter, so they had him under control. That time, the sequence stopped by Jordan. Good job against Strickland.
Strickland is a good post player, but Michael denied it.
And Calbert Cheaney knocks down the long-range jumper. He is 3 for 3, 6 points. Bullets 17, the Bulls 14. Game 2 of the best of 5. He's connected on 4 of 6. He has 8 points. Bullets lead by 1. Bullets have been a pretty good road team, 19-22 during the regular season. Strickland able to get inside, and the Bullets lead by 3. And in the regular season, they won 9 of the last 13 games on the road. The 19 road victories, most for the Bullets since back in 81-82. Jordan to the crossover, then had the shot deflected by Cheaney. Bullets on the run. Cheaney with the pull-up. Pippen, let's see. Hugh Evans looking for help on the call. Was it Grant or last touch by Pippen? Or perhaps a foul? The late call but they say a foul on Grant.
Well, Scottie Pippen looking for the outlet, and Harvey Grant coming across there. He thought he got all ball in the play. In fact, he thought he knocked it off Scottie Pippen. Hugh Evans, the lead official in the slot there, really wasn't sure what happened. Looked to Nolan Fine underneath the basket for help, and then Hugh decided to call a foul on Harvey Grant.
Bullets over the foul limit. Scottie Pippen is 3 for 3 at the line.
Well, Scottie Pippen, certainly no stranger to playoff experience. 139 games, 18 points, 8 rebounds, always the playmaker, 5 assists, and just under 2 steals a game. So much has been made about playoff experience. It really helps when you have a good team and a lot of talent. If you have some talented players that have, or I should say non-talented players that have experience, it doesn't matter all that much.
Bullets now lead by 1. Harvey Grant sitting down, replaced by Tracy Murray, who came off the bench, had a good one the other night, 13 points. Weber off the spin and draws the foul. Nice move by Weber going baseline. He was met by the double team and fouled by Hoffer. So Chris Weber to the line. Well, you can get the scoop on life in the NBA playoffs straight from the source, the players themselves, on NBA.com, the official website of the NBA. 4 players known collectively as the NBA.commentators. Buck Williams of the Knicks, Antoine Carr of the Jazz, Bill Wennington of the Bulls, Jim McElvain of the Sonics, ready to answer your emails. You can send in your questions and then check back for a new batch of answers every week throughout the playoffs. So you can log on and get connected to your favorite NBA players on NBA.com. NBA.commentators. And the foul on Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard grew up in the Chicago area, attended Chicago Vocational. I talked with Juwan earlier and asked how many tickets did he have to secure. He said 30. He also pointed out, paid for them all. Friends and family on hand to root on Juwan Howard.
Well, both Chris Webber and Juwan Howard got into foul trouble early in game 1 with these kinds of plays. Just the careless from behind type of play. That was really of the nickel dime version, and maybe the officials being very careful. Anytime Dennis Rodman is on the floor, there's going to be a lot of physical play underneath the basket, a lot of body contact. This, however, not a foul, but a lane violation.
Rod Strickland stepping in too quickly, and Scottie Pippen gets the additional free throw. Nolan Fine discussing it with Rod, and Pippen takes advantage. 3.5 remaining. First quarter, Bullets 20 and the Bulls 19. Marv Albert, Matt Gugas, and Ahmad Rashad from Chicago, along with Skycam from high above. Cheaney again. Oh, he is on fire. 4 of 5 from the field for Calbert Cheaney. Here's Pippen all the way. What a move on a changeup. He had the ball high over the head and then went with the scoop.
This has happened on a number of occasions in this first quarter where the Bulls, I should say the Bullets, make a shot or miss a shot where they should be back on defense, and the Bulls are winding up, laying it up at the other end. The grimace of pain on Bernie Bickerstaff's face when that happened.
Weber off the mark on that 3-point attempt. Bulls look to run. Pippen fires it down to Jordan. Met on the switch by Weber. You know Jordan wants to go right at it. He goes to the crossover and then has it knocked away by Cheaney. Timeout taken. 2:38 left in the first. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, as they have combined for close to 50 points per game to lead the way this season.
Batman, my favorite theme song.
Scottie Pippen being played by Juwan Howard. Brian Williams checking in for the first time. And here is Jordan. fouled by Strickland. That's 2 on Strickland. And Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen off to the good start. 15 points in all. Michael 4 of 7, 8 points. Scottie doing it for the most part at the foul line, where he's hit 5 of 6. Michael Jordan winning a record 9th scoring title. Didn't make it to 30 points per game, but averaged 29.6. Another stellar regular season. This is Chris Whitney, backup point guard, coming on for Rod Strickland. Whitney in his 4th year out of Clemson. Spent a couple of years with the San Antonio Spurs. And Steve Kerr hears it from the crowd. Major factor the other night in game 1. Provided a lift with 13 points off the bench. 4 of 5 did his damage to the Bullets in the 4th quarter. Hit 3 late 3-pointers.
Well, that's an efficient 13 points, doing it on only 5 shots. Phil Jackson making a quick move to get Steve in there when he has a comfortable matchup against Chris Whitney, who has struggled with his offense the last couple of months.
Bulls by 1. Strong move. Yes, and it counts. Well, Calbert Cheaney, who began the season having all kinds of problems finding the range, then picked it up. His production was down at one point. He was averaging about 7 points per game, but he's picked it up recently and is off to the strong start in this first quarter.
Well, one of the problems when you're guarding Cheaney on that side of the floor, obviously he's a natural left-hander, but prefers to drive right. But when the defensive philosophy is pushed to the baseline, you're really pushing Calbert Cheaney to his quick move with the right hand.
Bullets 25, the Bulls 23. Cheaney leading the Bulls 11. Michael Jordan leading the Bulls now with 12. And the game is tied at 25. Whitney and Cheaney at the guards with Weber, Howard, and Murray up front. Jordan now defending against Murray. Weber with the post-up move, lost the dribble. And picked off the floor by Kerr. As Jordan found the open man on a double team, we get a whistle. And the call on Howard.
Well, Calbert Cheaney feeling it from the perimeter, not three-point range, but he has excellent range from about 15 to 18 feet, and that sets up his driving ability. And when he is aggressive offensively, he gives the Bullets a whole different dimension that they need from him.
So with the Bullets over the limit, Jordan at the line is now 3 of 3 at the foul line. And a substitution for Washington. Lorenzo Williams checks in for the first time to give Juwan Howard a rest. Only a field goal, 2 points for Howard.
Another reason by starting Michael Jordan on the quick penetrating Rod Strickland. All season long, Ron Harper, who was so good defensively last year against those smaller players who could get in the lane, has struggled this year because of off-season knee surgery. But Harper had a difficult time guarding Cheaney, who got off in this game.
Weber got the step on Williams. Oh, the reverse stuff. Serving up a facial. Chris Weber ties the game at 27. 10 points for Weber, so a bounce back opening quarter for Chris Weber. Murray breaks up that lead pass. Just under 1 minute remaining in the first. Whitney sets it up. Weber passed on the 3. Michael Jordan took the charge.
Well, Chris Weber giveth and he taketh away. Here he just blows by Brian Williams on the baseline. No help from the weak side. And these are the kinds of plays that gets Chris Weber in trouble. Out of control when he puts the ball on the floor, has his head down, does not see the defender. Actually wanted to make a pass on the play. Would have been a good one if he could have pulled up and stopped first.
Here's Williams. Oh, beautiful move by Brian Williams. Bulls lead 29-27. That foul on Weber, his second, so he and Howard each have 2. Down to 20 seconds in the quarter. Weber pops it out to Murray. And Murray goes to the drive. Yes, and it counts. We have seen a series of spectacular shots in this first quarter. So Tracy Murray to the line. He's hit by Brian Williams.
Well, actually, but not a bad defensive play by Toni Kukoc. When Tracy Murray has the ball, he is the most dangerous three-point shooter on the team for Washington. So Toni Kukoc took him off that, forced him to drive it. Michael Jordan went right over to Toni Kukoc to either congratulate him for that play or to get on him about not letting him beat it to the basket. It was kind of right in the middle there. But Toni Kukoc obviously showing signs of rust. Not very mobile, not very quick. Same thing with Dennis Rodman.
Tracy Murray, fifth year out of UCLA, the highest scoring high school player in California history, then had a prolific career with the Bruins of UCLA. We're down to 10 seconds left in the first. Bullets by 1. Jordan beating Cheaney off the dribble to set it up for Pippen. Three-pointer. Jordan missed the rebound at the buzzer. After 1 here in Chicago. The Bullets 30, the Bulls 29. Chris Webber with 10 points already, surpassing his total of game 1. And Michael Jordan opening up strong with 14. We'll be back with the second quarter in a moment. Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. 1 quarter complete, and the Bullets lead the Bulls 30-29 at the end of the first quarter. Some disappointment shown by Michael Jordan, not able to hit on that putback.
Well, that's the second time that it happened to Michael in the first quarter. Realizes he should have used the backboard, but how many times do you ever see Michael Jordan drop the head and slump the shoulders? You just never see that kind of body language from Michael Jordan. He just might be human after all, Mark.
All right, Tim Legler has come on for the first time for the Bullets. George Murasan is back. Pippen thought he had someone coming and did not. So the Bullets get it back. Washington with a good shooting. First quarter, 13 of 24, 54%. Chicago, 9 of 19, 47%. And a foul is called. Tracy Murray fouled in the act of shooting a 3. Toni Kukoc picked it up. And 3 free throws for Murray.
I'm starting to rethink that former play by Toni Kukoc, letting Tracy Murray beat him off the dribble for a three-point play opportunity. Now fouling him on a three-point shot. 2 poor defensive plays by Kukoc. Here's how most teams around the league view Tracy Murray, the obvious three-point shooting threat, has been putting the ball on the floor more and more. He is not a good defensive player, so when you get the opportunity, if you're a Chicago Bull, you want to try to beat him off the dribble.
84% free throw shooter. So the Bullets now lead 33-29. Bulls have Hopper and Kerr at the guards. Jordan getting a rest. Longley up front with Kukoc and Pippen. Ineffective 7 minutes for Rodman in the first quarter. Hopper. A 3 for Ron Hopper to cut it to a 1-point Bullet lead. No question that Dennis Rodman still on the rusty side. In fact, did not have a rebound in that first quarter stint. 1 minute gone by in the second. Longley and Murasan battling for position, and the foul committed by Longley.
Well, you just expect Dennis Rodman to get anywhere from 13 to 20 rebounds anytime he steps out on the floor this season, averaging 16, leading the league once again, but struggling so far since coming back.
Murray with another Serta shot to draw the foul. Tracy Murray with 8 points, and it's called on Kukoc. And that look by Phil Jackson explains all.
Toni Kukoc claiming to the officials that he stood straight up. He did have the arms up, but leaned into Tracy Murray with the chest. Now, we said Tracy Murray, a good three-point shooter, an improved driver. I don't see him post up very often, but Toni Kukoc struggling defensively.
9 points for Murray. Bullets 36, the Bulls 32. Hoffer guarded by Legler. A lot of whistles here in the second quarter. Foul committed.
Tracy Murray off the ball there, not even guarding Scottie Pippen, but trying to help his teammate Juwan Howard, and bump the cutter. Got caught putting that arm and elbow out.
Murray called for the foul his first. Now Kukoc looking to post up, then goes to the fadeaway. Whitney and Legler at the guards. Murasad with Murray and Howard up front. Murasad, and he's fouled. He was hacked. He'll go to the line. Foul on Longley, his second.
Well, obviously, Big George at 7'7", not a very mobile player, but once he gets his 2 feet in the paint, he takes up a lot of space, and 7-footer Luke Longley just dwarfs in comparison. Very hard to keep George out of that lane. Last season, George Murison, the most improved player, having a terrific year. Jimmy Lynam, a big factor in bringing around George, struggling this year because of injuries early in the season.
Yes, a knee injury set him back. Averaged 10 points per game this year. Finished the season missing the last 3 prior to the wrapper against Cleveland last Sunday because of a bad back. And the Bulls way off in the defense. Foul is called on the break. Scottie Pippen getting down and called for his first. Well, the Bullets have looked sharp and the Bulls have not.
An interesting statistic in the fact that George Murison, by being in this game defensively around the basket, the Chicago Bulls just 3 for 9 from the field while he is in the game. And Jimmy Lynam used to say that when George was on the floor, that opponents' field goal percentage was in the high 30s. When he was out of the game, opponents would shoot in the high 40s. He makes a big difference at the defensive end, and he is an effective offensive player himself as far as percentage is concerned. #1 in the NBA this year at 60%.
Well, we've barely played 2 minutes of the second quarter. Already Chicago is over the foul limit and trailing by 7. Well, Kukoc on the putback. Toni Kukoc with his second field goal. Bullets 39 and the Bulls 34. Bernie Bickerstaff providing a rest for 2 of his star players, Chris Webber and Rod Strickland. Juwan Howard one-on-one with Scottie Pippen. Pippen broke it up. And Kukoc took the hit from behind. Foul committed by Murray. Timeout taken. 9:28 left in the first half. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
The NBA playoffs continue next Saturday, plus a triple header next Sunday on NBC.
United Center, the usual capacity crowd on hand, better than 23,000. Washington already committing 12 fouls. Chicago with 10. So 22 fouls have been called in 15 minutes of play. A host of whistles. It has been a very slow-moving first half. The Bullets lead 39-34 with 2.5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Ahmad Rashad from the United Center. Michael Jordan is back, as is Dennis Rodman. And Jordan off the bench and immediately hits the baseline jumper. He has 16. The Bullet lead is now 3.
Well, the Chicago Bulls immediately spotted Tim Legler, not a very strong defender in the post, going right inside to Michael Jordan, and Michael took advantage of it.
Webber and Strickland have also returned. Here's Murray around Kukoc, and Toni Kukoc is having a very difficult time with Tracy Murray, who's been able to score at will. Murray has 11. Bullets 41. Bulls 36. Strickland is guarding Kerr, and again Legler on Jordan. The foul is called. Tim Legler has made it back from a knee injury. Legler called for that foul. Well, next weekend, the NBA playoff action continues as NBC Sports presents 2 days packed with NBA action. Saturday, if a doubleheader is available, we'll start with showtime at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If one game is available, we'll take the air at 3 o'clock in the East. The next Sunday, an NBA playoff tripleheader starting at 12 noon Eastern Time. It's all next Saturday and Sunday right here on NBC. Bullets 41, Bulls 36. With 8.5 to go in this first half, and yet another whistle. Don Vate, the outside official, calling a technical foul on Phil Jackson.
Well, first of all, Phil Jackson showing a lot of patience with Toni Kukoc, who had all kinds of problems defensively. Finally got him out of the ball game, but Phil was trying to come to the aid of Toni on that last field goal by Tracy Murray. Felt that he waved off with the off arm and committed an offensive foul and kept on the officials way too long.
Phil telling us earlier he'd like to make it a very happy 90th birthday for his mom, Elizabeth, who is watching, celebrating in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I don't think Elizabeth agreed with that technical foul call by Nolan Fine.
Oh, Phil was telling me before the game that his mother used to listen to you doing games on radio when she was a young lady.
Oh, that's funny. And here is Bushler. Hit ball, accidentally. Chris Webber. Looked like Webber got a piece of it. And we'll have to see who will receive credit. But the Bullets now lead 41 to 38. Murray hitting again. Matt, what is so sad is that you are 7 years older than me, yet you continue with the cheap jokes. It's incredible.
You love them.
Bullets by 5. Shot clock at 6. And Jordan lost the dribble. And we're told that Dennis Rodman got credit for that tip that looked to be deflected home by Webber. Dennis will take it the way things have been going. That's his first field goal.
And his first rebound.
And once again, a whistle away from the ball. And may have been a double foul. No, apparently just Bushler called for the foul.
Oh, there's the jump shot by Jed Bushler, but actually Dennis Rodman behind Chris Webber on the play, trying to go up one-handed to snatch that rebound, wind up just tipping the ball in the basket, and Rodman gets credit because he was the closest Chicago Bull to the ball.
All right, Tracy Murray on the line by virtue of that foul committed by Jud Bushler. So the Bullets now lead at 45-38.
And the Chicago Bulls it's maybe getting a little bit too late, but Tracy Murray is already off and running. They're going to have to find a way to shut him down.
Mike Jordan with 18 points. The Bullet lead is now 5. Strickland lost his balance, able to recover. Howard had it poked away by Pippen, and a foul. A reach in his call. Scottie Pippen with his second. Timeout taken. 6:48 left in the second. Well, Tracy Murray, who had a good one off the bench on Friday night in Game 1, has done it again. 12 of the Bullets' 15 points in the second quarter have been scored by Murray.
And basically with the same play time and time again, Tracy Murray just going down to the baseline, coming off either big man on either side. And right now with Steve Kerr matched up against Rod Strickland, it's a very tough cover for Steve because Strickland has that ball handling ability to just take it wherever he goes, and that makes the pass now easier to Tracy Murray. So Bushler, Pippen, and Jordan are all going to have to work together and probably do some switching out on Tracy Murray, trying to deny him the ball.
All right, Juwan Howard has had a very quiet half. 1 of 5 from the field. 21 points the other night. This, the finale of our triple header coverage. Earlier today, Miami beating Orlando 104-87. Tim Hardaway had 20 points, 11 assists. Miami goes up 2-0 with the series headed to Orlando Tuesday night for game number 3. Michael Jordan with 20 points. And the Bullets now lead 47-42. And the Lakers made it a 2-0 lead on Portland. Seen earlier here on NBC, 107-93. Another big day for Shaquille O'Neal, 30 points. And the Bulls showing some signs. Scottie Pippen cuts it to a 3-point Washington lead. Timeout is called by the Bullets. 6:07 remaining in this first half.
Well, Scottie Pippen has been trying to push the ball at every opportunity. Keep an eye on Dennis Rodman and Juwan Howard running down the floor. Dennis Rodman getting away with a moving screen there just to pick off Howard to enable Scottie Pippen to get to the basket. Well, Dennis Rodman, not just a rebound, very clever in this. First of all, he's thinking run to the rim to create something. Then he feels Pippen behind him, just slowing up enough to rub Juwan Howard out of the play.
Dennis Rodman has played 10 minutes. This is second game back and has just 1 rebound and 1 field goal. It was actually tipped in, deflected inadvertently by Weber, and a kind of a soft foul called on Rodman. Hand check, which will put Juwan Howard at the line.
And a very mild reaction from Dennis. You're allowed to keep a bent arm. Well, that's a little bit more than a bent arm. And got it up and under. Dennis always tries to make it look like he's getting pushed. Of course, he's doing the pushing, but I'm sure the Bulls players and coaching staff pleased, even though Dennis didn't like the call, pleased with the fact he did not overreact on that call.
Juwan Howard, who ended up averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, following a slow start. And Howard with 8 points now here in this first half. Bullets 49 and the Bulls 44. Both clubs at 52% from the field. Both at 16 for 31. Ryan Williams now with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman up front. Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr in the backcourt. Here's Jordan to the fadeaway. Came up short. So Michael is now 8 for 13 from the field. Strickland putting moves on Kerr. Went for the reverse English, spinning it off the glass.
Well, Steve Kerr had a lot of help from the big people inside, all leaping in the air, making Strickland change that shot and have to put too much spin on it.
And an offensive foul on Dennis Rodman.
Well, Dennis Rodman, who normally gobbles up a lot of offensive rebounds, struggling in that area, but trying to do a lot of different things. Coming over to set a screen, sticking the leg out as the officials are, keeping a very close eye on Dennis Rodman, and of course he should be aware of that. He's been told that by Phil Jackson and his teammates.
And he has been hit with a technical foul. Rodman didn't like that last call. Continued the discussion and hit with the tee. He was hit with the 2 tees on Friday night, leading to the ejection.
Of course, not saying anything, but the obvious clapping of the hands is going to show the officials up. That's an easy one in this particular climate right now, where all eyes of the officials are going to be on Dennis Rodman. No crew is going to want to be shown up by Dennis Rodman.
Bullets by 6 with the ball. Weber off the dribble, putting it on Williams, and the foul is called. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. Brian Williams did not like the call. Well, the playoffs continue tonight on TNT. The Pistons and the Hawks, game 2 of their series, starting 8 o'clock Eastern time. And the Suns and the Sonics at 10:30 in the East, followed by Inside the NBA. That is tonight.
Pistons are going to have to do something to find a way to stop the offensive-minded Dikembe Mutombo, and the Seattle Sonics have to find a way to somehow or other corral Rex Chapman, who has the green light, letting it fly from everywhere, as the Suns right now, a very exciting team to watch.
And a substitution, Jason Caffey for Brian Williams. Bulls have not gone to the line in the second quarter. Bullets 14 of 17. Weber is only a 56% free throw shooter. Weber 1 of 4 here this evening.
Oh, big reason for that. The Bulls not taking the ball to the basket very much, mainly because George Bjornsson was in the beginning of the second quarter, and Michael Jordan taking a lot of jump shots.
And Kerr goes off. Oh, what a quick release by Steve Kerr. That's his first field goal. Bullets by 4. Kerr off the steal. Pippen with the ball. So Chicago within 2. Bullets have led by as many as 7. Shot clock at 5. Cheaney forcing. Howard with the rebound and the bucket.
It shows you how Dennis Rodman just out of sync, going for that ill-advised shot by Cheaney, although he had to rush it to beat the shot clock. Tried to jump and catch it, mistimed it, giving up the offensive rebound and stick back to Howard.
Jordan, 22 for Jordan. The Bulls here at home during the regular season won 39 and lost only 2. The 2 losses to Miami, then the final day of the regular season, beaten by the Knicks. Weber with 12 points. And the Bullets lead 54 to 50. Chicago with the best home record in the league. At one point, they won 32 straight. And the loose ball foul is called.
Well, the last 2 regular seasons, the Chicago Bulls pair of 39-2s, losing last game at home in both years. Losses to Charlotte and Indiana in that last game a year ago, and then we were here last Saturday night in an exciting finish in that loss to New York. In fact, I was talking to Steve Kerr before the game. He was chided by Phil Jackson for not taking that last shot on the feed from Michael Jordan. He gave it up. Scottie Pippen took a wild shot wide left, but once Phil Jackson saw the replay, he realized that Steve Kerr was not open. Man was running at him, but he wanted Steve to fake that shot, put it on the floor, and shoot the ball anyway. And what it has done has made Steve Kerr more aggressive offensive player. He's looking for a shot more and more, only taking 2 so far in this game, but he's not going to pass up any open shots.
Well, we saw the aggressive look by Kerr in game 1 on Friday night and was able to find the shots in the fourth quarter. Bullets 56 and the Bulls 50 as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Jordan met by Cheaney off the fake. Yes. 24 for Jordan on 10 of 15 shooting.
Now the Bullets are playing very aggressive defense, but what is happening is they're making the Bulls execute that much better, and Michael Jordan more definitive in every move that he makes.
4-point Washington lead. Shot clock down to 6. Howard backing his way. Strong move by Juwan Howard.
This is actually a mismatch, and that's odd to say. Scottie Pippen, once again, will probably be on the all-defensive team, but the one area where he struggles defensively is in post defense, and when Juwan Howard gets him down there, he can hurt Scottie Pippen with some strong moves to the basket.
Pippen got the step, and the foul is called. Howard unhappy about the call. It's number 3.
Well, Juwan Howard, not known as a post player, but has good size in there, and able to take a lot of turnaround jumpers, but realizing that Scottie Pippen just keeps giving and giving ground, just took it all away. Scottie Pippen would have gone to the 10th row if Juwan Howard kept going. Here's a look at the scouting report of Juwan Howard. He's got that jump shot from 16 to 18 feet. Good around the boards. He will throw it away if he handles too much and tries to make too many plays.
And Howard sits down after picking up his third. Another Bullet foul as Kukoc was sent to the floor. And that puts Washington over the foul limit. Now the penalty in effect. Murray called for his third, and Kukoc at the line. For Chicago, their first free throws of the second quarter.
Well, it has not been pretty at times for Chicago when both Toni Kukoc and Dennis Rodman have been on the floor at various times of this first half. But Phil Jackson has to stay with it and get those guys some important minutes. There's the career numbers for Toni Kukoc. 47%, 13 points, and career playoffs down a little bit as he struggled with his shot last year, in particular in the finals.
Toni Kukoc bothered by the injured right foot. Good portion of the season. Bullets 58, the Bulls 53 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Harvey Grant is back, as is Tim Legler. Strickland. Nice recovery by Caffey, but Weber is right there. Caffey helping out to stop Strickland, but Weber on the follow, and Chris Weber with an outstanding first half. He now has 14 points.
And Weber set that up with a good high pick on Steve Kerr, who got knocked off. Didn't really get any help until Rod Strickland got to the basket, but that kind of penetration will hurt the Chicago Bulls inside, especially when Howard, Weber, Horace Grant, Urson, when the big people are in there and follow up and get to the basket. Well, Weber knocked off Steve Kerr and just kept rolling to the basket. Poor shot by Strickland, but nobody getting a body on Weber as all eyes were on the ball handler, Rod Strickland.
A 20-second timeout has been called by Phil Jackson. A 7-point Washington lead. It matches their biggest lead of the game. It's the first half that has seen both teams shoot well. The Bulls at 56%, the Bullets at 51%. And a lot of whistles. Many trips to the free throw line for the most part for the Washington Bullets. See the good shooting. High point men, Michael Jordan with 24. And as you saw, Tracy Murray leading the Bullets with 16. Chris Weber with 14. Jordan, that's too easy. No resistance.
Well, Michael is stopping on a dime. He is making such hard moves, and that's against a good defender. Harvey Grant, known for his defense, has good size. Stop that quickly and get in the air. Nothing even a good defender can do.
Strickland penetrates. On the scramble, Weber gets to it and takes a timeout. So Weber able to save the possession. 1:12 left in the first half. Bullets lead by 5. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
But when you have your choice defensively, you'd rather make Michael Jordan go to his left. It's the lesser of two evils. But guess what? When he's got it going, he can hit the runner. He's got the hard move going to his right. The pump fake up and in, and then the hard move on Harvey Grant. The quick stop up and in.
And there's been so much speculation concerning the future of Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson, both working on one-year deals. Last week, Jerry Reinsdorf, the Bulls chairman, quoted regarding that $30 million contract, said, "I can afford it. If we pay that much money again, we won't go to the poorhouse. I want Jordan back," said Jerry Reinsdorf. It has been indicated that Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson have an unwritten agreement to remain together. 2 seconds on the shot clock. And Weber got it off. Strickland gets the new 24. So many subplots to what may happen. A 3 for Weber. 17 for Weber in this first half. And the Bullets have a 60-55 lead. Longley had it knocked away, recovered by Caffey. And with 52 seconds remaining in this first half, Don Vaden blowing the whistle and saying, "Come on back." Apparently the clock was not adjusted. This arena going silent, wondering what the whistle was all about. They wanted to restart it. The scoreboard was also incorrect. It is 63-57 Bullets. Strickland for 3. Pippen battling for it. Pippen had to save it. Jordan off the fake. Weber got a piece of it, and a foul committed by Legler. Basket will not count.
Well, Scottie Pippen almost losing this ball, realizes he should actually, Luke Longley knocked it loose, but Scottie diving headlong, parallel to the floor, able to reach out and save that ball. As Jason Caffey will go to the free throw line. Well, you just don't expect to come into this building as a opposing team and score 63 points against one of the best defenses in basketball against the Chicago Bulls. But the Bulls, Bullets, whatever jitters and nervousness they had.
I beg your pardon, Matt? Did you just coin a new phrase?
What?
Bullets.
Whatever nervousness they had certainly knocked out of them after game one, as they have come in as a very confident team. They feel that they can play with these Bulls all 3 regular season games right there with them, winning the last one 110-102. So Bernie Bickerstaff has his team playing with a lot of confidence.
High number of points, as you mentioned, by the opposition against Chicago. The most against the Bulls this year and a half, 72. The Lakers did it back in December. And here are the Bullets with 63 as this first half winds down. 10 seconds left. And Strickland playing the clock. Down to 5. Legler for Strickland. Strickland on the reverse. It will count. Rod Strickland with the baseline reverse. And we also get a whistle. The field goal was posted. The whistle blew, and apparently there may still be some time on the clock. Yes, time is being placed back on the clock. 1 2/10 seconds remaining. So Kukoc will throw it in. The half had not ended. Jump ball, broken up. Cheaney kept it away from Jordan. So at the half, and a very impressive first half for the young Washington Bullets. They lead 65-58. Stay tuned, except for the West Coast, for your local news after these words from your local stations.
The thing that they want to do is try to stay out of the penalty. It kept them from being aggressive in the first half because they were in the penalty with 10 minutes left. So you see that difference between the styles of play that they played in the first half. They're going to try to change that, Marv.
Yes, lots of fouls in the first half, 32 in all, 16 for each club. Dennis Rodman still looking rusty. 13 minutes in the first half. 1 of 1 from the field. That was actually deflected in by Chris Webber, and just 1 rebound.
And you can see the lack of mobility with that heavy brace on his left leg. Unable to move very well, and his timing way off around the basket. Mistiming this jump, giving Juwan Howard a follow-up stick back as Dennis Rodman struggling with his rebounding, struggling with his defense, forcing the Bulls to struggle. But Chicago so many times comes out to start the second half and turns up the defense.
Rodman missed the final 13 games of the regular season with a sprained ligament in his left knee, trying to work his way back. So the third quarter is underway. And now the Bullets for the offense. 65-58. Washington on top. And Rod Strickland shake it up. And a 20-second timeout is taken by Washington.
Rod Strickland pointing to his fingers, which are already wrapped.
That's Bullets trainer Kevin Johnson checking him out.
Rod Strickland being covered early in the first half by Michael Jordan to try to cut down on his post-up plays, to cut down on his penetration. Overall, Michael did a good job on him. But then when Steve Kerr played him a great deal of time in that second quarter, Rod Strickland started to find other people for open shots. 6 assists for Rod Strickland in that first half.
What a terrific finish to the regular season for Rod Strickland. So instrumental in the Bullet turnaround. Apparently Rod is all right. Barasad with his first shot attempt of the game. Jordan and Hoffer at the guards. Longley, Pippen, and Caffey up front. Hoffer with the open shot. Block it aside, and Webber control. Crowd felt he had knocked it out of bounds.
Murson has only played 6 minutes, or only played 6 in the first half. And, you know, he's such a lumbering guy against a quick, athletic team like the Chicago Bulls. He suffers in transition and suffers with his lack of mobility.
Now Howard backing Caffey. Shot clock at 2. Weber for 3. And Caffey lunging for that rebound. Chicago Bulls did not have a particularly good game the other night here on Friday, and struggling with the Bullets here tonight. Longley brings the Bulls within 5.
That's what Bernie Bickerstaff is worried about for his team, that the weak side defense falls asleep, and that's the big part of Chicago's attack. Flashing from the weak side, getting the ball to the other side, and teams always are so much concerned with the strong side where the ball is.
Longley, his first field goal. Weber had the excellent first half. Murasan over Longley. It's a 24-second violation. All right, for more on Dennis Rodman, let's check in with him on.
All right, Marv. Dennis Rodman was bothered in the first half by wearing a very cumbersome brace, so he's changed it at the half. He's now wearing a more elastic brace, and he's just now left to go back to the locker room to do a little bit more adjusting on that knee brace. I'll keep you posted. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. Bullets by 5. We're early in the third. Foul is called on Weber, going for the block on Caffey. That's 3 on Chris Weber.
Dennis Rodman is one of those players who I don't think ever remember him wearing anything on his knees or any wraps around his legs. He's always had very strong legs, has always worked very hard on his conditioning, and when it's the first time that you have to wear some kind of apparatus, you just feel like a totally different person. He's just one leg so much heavier than the other.
Jason Caffey, 3 of 5 at the foul line. In the season series, the Bulls and Bullets met 3 times. Bulls won 2 of 3. Washington won the last meeting early April in Landover. Light pressure being shown here by Chicago. Bullets beating the Bulls in Landover. The day the Bulls were honored at the White House. Phil Jackson said it was a grueling day. Bernie Bickerstaff said now the Bulls are blaming President Clinton for that loss. Juwan Howard has 14 points. Phil Jackson said the Bulls left the game in the Lincoln bedroom that day after they were honored by President Clinton. And a foul.
Well, it's the philosophy of most coaches to blame everything else but yourself when something goes wrong. The siege mentality. We're okay. Everybody else is messed up.
Murasan called for his 3rd. And again, Caffey to the line.
Well, the last time after the made free throw, the Bulls, what you called, Marv, a very light pressure. Luke Longley was picking him up, laying him down, huffing and puffing as he was trying to put some pressure on the backcourt. And this is Jason Caffey, last year compared to this year, a much more confident player, taking advantage of that playing time with Dennis Rodman out. But in those championship years for Chicago, 91, 2, and 3, their press led and spearheaded by Horace Grant, so much more effective. That's when the Bulls used to get those runs, 10-2, 16-4, explode and blow games wide open. This particular edition of the Bulls does not have that capability.
Oh, behind the back, Weber finding Cheaney. What a pass. And the Bullets now lead 69-64. Weber defending on Longley. Murasan trying to find somebody down low as Jordan is off the mark. Weber with the save. And a foul on Longley, who did not like that call. That is his 3rd.
Well, the first half we said that Chris Weber will giveth and he will taketh away. Well, we're going to see a giveth here. Beautiful bounce pass to the cutting Calbert Cheaney. And then other times, Chris Weber, there's another beautiful feed to Juwan Howard on the alley-oop. And other times, Chris Weber might throw one in the stands, but we just saw 2 beautiful assists from Chris Weber.
And for Weber, his 4th assist of the night.
Well, Chris Weber showed us the behind-the-back bounce pass, and then on the inbound play, the hard cut by Juwan Howard, the perfect feed from Chris Webber for his 4th assist. There they are, this year, the ranking of dynamic duos. Glenn Rice and Anthony Mason, seeing them yesterday. Rice carrying much of the scoring load there. Wow, Howard and Webber very close, just about 20 points a game for both of them.
Chris Webber in his 3rd season out of Michigan. Began with Golden State, had the run-in with Don Nelson. Last year played only 15 games due to a shoulder injury. Played in only 54 games the previous season. Jordan coming up short. It was deflected. And Murasan able to field it. Bullets by 7. Cheaney trying to add to that. Kept alive by Webber. Howard. Matchup is now Murasan on Rodman, who just checked back in. Harper drills a 3. Ron Harper with 8 points. The Bullets lead 71-67.
Harper felt he was hit on the play, but that one set up on a beautiful pick from Scottie Pippen. Poor defense by the Washington Bullets.
Murasan on the back tap, kept it alive. And the Bullets get a new 24.
Well, the last 2 previous possessions, bad shots by Washington, that time at least going inside as Strickland nails one from the top.
Strickland has not shot well. He's now 4 for 13, 10 points, along with 6 assists. Webber, the high man, with 17 points, 9 rebounds. Jordan with 26. 6.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bullets hoping to tie the series at 1. Here's going Grimes. Well, the Bullet lead is 4. Bulls would love to take a 2-0 lead to Landover. Game 3 will be Wednesday, 8 o'clock start Eastern Time. Game 4, if necessary, Friday night in Landover. Murasan. And Rodman with his first pure rebound. It's only a 2nd rebound of the day. Pippen foul. Holding foul. It's on Howard.
Well, the Chicago Bulls starting to pick it up right now at both ends of the floor. Starting to pick up some momentum. A little fake screen by Ron Harper, enabling Jordan to get the ball and just beating Calbert Cheaney inside. Bernie Bickerstaff senses it. Is now going to get Murasan out of the ball game. Here's a look at all the different people that have looked at Michael Jordan. It's been mostly Calbert Cheaney taking the brunt of Michael's attack.
Change of that foul. Webber called, not Howard. Bullets by 4. Jordan cuts it to a 2-point lead. So Webber has 4 personals. Howard has 3. The Bulls showing signs. They've cut it to 2. And the Bullets take a timeout. Well, moments ago, our cameras caught Phil Jackson holding this postcard of the famous Vincent van Gogh self-portrait painting. At a closer look, you'll note it right there. For more of that, let's check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, Marv. Phil Jackson, obviously a lover of the arts, as I am myself. And when I asked Randy Brown about this postcard, if it had any special meaning, he said no, it's just that Phil has his plays written on the other side of it. Marv?
Just happened to pick up a scrap of the Van Gogh self-portrait. Bullets with a 2-point lead, 5.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dennis Rodman getting this crowd excited. He comes in with his 3rd rebound. Longley. Yes. And the game is tied at 73.
Ahmad Rashad also reporting at that halftime. Dennis Rodman changed the knee brace. Feels much better with it. More lateral movement. Playing with more confidence right now.
Bulls have outscored the Bullets 15-8 in this 3rd quarter. Cheaney working hard for the shot. Dennis Rodman. And he has inspired this crowd. after the rough start. Bulls have hit their last 4 shots. Jordan. And the Bullets want to talk it over.
Midway through this third quarter, Washington starting to take some 4 quick jumpers, and now the crowd into it. Penetration by Scottie Pippen, creating the open jumper for Luke Longley. Feeling the energy from the crowd, feeling the energy from Dennis Rodman, who has come alive, getting off the floor, getting the rebound, and sending Ron Harper and Michael Jordan the other way, as Michael Jordan drops in points numbers 32 and 33. Michael Jordan almost a triple-double in Game 1 and having a brilliant night, 33 points on that 14 for 22.
Bullets have missed 7 of their last 8 shot attempts. Chicago in the midst of a 9-0 run off the steal. Ron Harper sets it up. 4:20 remaining in the third. Bulls take a 3-point lead after trailing by as many as 7. Jordan trying to post up, and it's picked off on the deflection by Howard. As you saw, Chicago has outscored Washington 18-8 here in the third.
Bullets have to start looking for Tracy Murray. He had the hot hand in the first half.
He just checked back in. He had 14 points in the first half. Crowd chanting for Luke Longley. Longley getting position on Harvey Grant. Jordan over Murray. 35 for Michael Jordan. The Bulls lead 78-73. Bullets have missed their last 5, 8 of the last 9. Strickland. And the rebound handled by Harper.
Bulls standing around waiting for Michael Jordan to pop open free. He's had the hot hand.
The tip by Rodman. And Dennis Rodman, a different player in the second half after struggling in the first half.
Well, it's not been so much the Bulls defense. The Bullets have helped with some poor shooting, but also Dennis Rodman coming alive as Strickland called for the offensive foul. It was Michael Jordan who took over in the fourth quarter along with Steve Kerr in Game 1. He has taken over throughout this whole ball game, primarily with jump shots. But Dennis Rodman, nobody getting a body on him as he is starting to camp underneath the basket, getting the tip in.
13 unanswered points by the Bulls. Hugh Evans says last touched by Chicago.
And Dennis Rodman frustrated with himself, the body just not letting go what the mind wanted it to do. He wanted to dive for that loose ball, but still not feeling enough confidence on that man wheel.
A superb first half for the Bullets. They led the ball 65-58. But here in the third quarter, they have not scored over the last 5 minutes. Howard pops it out. Murray blocked by Pickett. Blocked again. Rodman dives for it. 24 violation.
Well, this is playoff defense at its best. As Tracy Murray taking it hard, probably should have been a foul there as he was converged upon Luke Longley and Harper, and then Scottie Pippen will block the shot from behind by Tracy Murray before that play.
And on the rebound, a foul is called. Weber getting position. Loose ball foul, charged to Pippen. Down to 1:54 remaining in this third quarter. The Bulls with an 80-73 lead. It is their biggest lead of the night. Bullets have missed their last 8 shots and a foul on Jordan. Well, tonight, here on NBC at 8:30 p.m., 7:30 Central. It's the blockbuster action movie starring Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep, critically acclaimed, The River Wild, right after an all-new Third Rock. That's NBC tonight. So Rod Strickland to the free throw line, where he is 2 for 2.
Well, the Bullets are struggling to find something they can get comfortable with at the offensive end. Last Sunday in the playoff clinching game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, much of the time it was posting up Rod Strickland against the smaller Terrell Brandon. But with Michael Jordan guarding Strickland, that takes away that opportunity. So the Bullets have to look elsewhere.
Chris Webber is sitting down, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, plus 4 personal fouls. They look to double up on Pippen. Rodman gets it back to Pippen. Harper eluding Strickland. Yes. Ron Harper's hit 2 key shots. Earlier, a three-pointer. He's 4 of 6 from the field, 10 points.
Well, with those knee problems, Ron Harper, he must have to get warm and then has trouble getting warmed up again.
Last touch by Howard.
The reason I say that, he sat out the whole second quarter as Steve Kerr got much of the play. But Ron Harper got off to a reasonably good start in this ballgame, but must be very hard for him to get back after he goes out of the ballgame. So for this third quarter, Phil Jackson riding him the whole way.
A hand for Michael Jordan. He'll get a rest at the end of this third quarter. Leads with 35 points, replaced by Randy Brown, making his first appearance of the game. And Chris Whitney has come on to Rod Strickland. So Harper and Brown at the guards. Pippen, Longley, and Rodman up front. Longley with a series of moves to beat Grant.
Well, I was looking around wondering where Chicago was going to get some offense. With Michael Jordan on the bench, you got to look to Scottie Pippen, but Luke Longley answering the call there.
Cheaney with the foul. And the Bulls say should have been offensive interference. No call made. And play continues. The basket does count. Bulls lead 84-77. Harper.
Well, here's Calbert Cheaney putting the shot up, rolling just off the rim. That ball laying on the rim as I believe John Howard tipped it in. Should have been offensive interference.
The Bullets with just 12 points in this third quarter. Right off the street. Washington with just 12 points after scoring 65 in the first half. And the Bulls now lead 86-77. The pressure continues. Whitney able to recover and found Cheaney. It counts. And the foul.
Well, with Michael Jordan going out of the ballgame, Phil Jackson going with a defensive group right now, coming in with Randy Brown, making Phil look very good on this play. Randy Brown, an outstanding defensive player, as it's really been defense these last 6 minutes of the third quarter. It actually started with poor shot selection by Washington, and that enabled the Bulls to get some confidence with their defense, and that's what's given them this 6-point lead.
Well, Calbert Cheaney finishing off the three-point play. He has 18 for the game, and the Bulls lead 86-80. Longley from deep. Howard handles the rebound at the buzzer. After 3, the Bulls turn it around here in the third, and they lead the Bullets by 6. Michael Jordan, the high point man, with 35. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
We welcome you back to Chicago. Marv Albert, Matt Jokas, Ahmad Rashad. The Bulls turning things in the third quarter, outscored the Bullets 28-15 at one stretch. Washington went 6 minutes, 5 seconds without a field goal. And here are the 3 guys most significant in the third quarter. Michael Jordan overall 15 for 24, 35 points. And Dennis Rodman able to step it up several notches after the slow start and seemed to provide energy, inspire the team and the crowd.
And Marv, I think a lot of it started with some complacency on the part of the Bullets midway through the third quarter. Got a little bit comfortable scoring so many points in that first half, maybe underestimating the defensive prowess of Chicago, and you can never do that because once the defense got going, it's trouble.
Washington just 6 of 22 shooting in the third. Strickland able to get inside. The Bulls lead by 4. They led by as many as 11. So the Bullets have come back with 7 straight points going back to the end of the third quarter. Now Jordan and Kerr at the guards. Kukoc back up front with Rodman and Brian Williams. Here's Williams. Strickland with Murray to his left. Murray for 3. And Rodman handles the rebound. That is his 6th.
Dennis still not jumping particularly well, still not as active as you normally see him when he's healthy, but still getting his hand on a lot of balls and starting to pull down those rebounds.
Kerr used the pick to set it up for Williams. Now looking for a foul as Howard and Rodman came together. Strickland accelerates, set it up for Murray, and the foul on Williams.
Brian Williams frustrated with himself for missing this open jump shot, and Dennis Rodman and Howard getting all tangled up. Dennis knocks him down, and then in a very friendly sportsman-like gesture, Dennis Rodman picking up Juwan Howard. You're not going to see that too often.
Juwan Howard, a native of Chicago, does have a good relationship with many of the Bulls. In fact, worked out in his younger days with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. In fact, a couple of summers ago when Jordan was filming the motion picture Space Jam, he included Juwan Howard among the players that he'd fly in for scrimmages so he could get back in basketball shape. Howard said it was the most enriching summer school he ever attended. Here's Jordan. And he was fouled. With a minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter. Now, earlier in the first half, we showed you this statement from Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf regarding the future of Michael Jordan. Reinsdorf saying, I can't afford it. If we pay that much money again, we won't go to the poorhouse. I want Jordan back. Well, sitting courtside, Michael Jordan's business manager, Asian, there is David Falk. He had an interesting reaction when he saw this on one of the monitors. Ahmad Rashad happened to be nearby and can fill us in. Ahmad?
All right, Marv. David said that it was the first time he had heard of anything like this, and he thought, of course, that it was excellent news, but just like any other employee that does a great job, I'm sure that Michael would be looking for a raise. Marv?
Yes. And I'm also told that David Falk was pumping his arms several times as he saw that graphic come up on the monitor.
A la Tiger Woods, fist in the air.
And a kneeing foul is indicated. And once again, as we showed you that headline, yes, I think he enjoyed it. Hearing the sounds of the cash register. Foul was called on Brian Williams, number 5. And a blocking foul on Dennis Rodman. That is his 3rd.
And right away, Michael Jordan right over to pick Dennis up and stay somewhat between him and the official. Dennis Rodman already has 1 technical foul, but Dennis Rodman still not moving like he normally does, but just getting friskier. Moving on that play, trying to pick up another foul on Chris Webber, who has 4.
And Steve Kerr with the rebound. A host of fouls have been called, 44 in all. So it's been a very slow-paced ball game. Kukoc for 3, and he is fouled with 9:57 remaining. In this fourth quarter, it's the Bulls by 4.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
Well, today we look back at the 1978 NBA Finals. Bernie Bickerstaff, the Bullets assistant under head coach Dick Motta. Bullets and Sonics would go 7 games, and it was the Bullets pulling out Game 7 to win the title. The Bullets' regular season record of 44-38, as it turns out, the worst ever to win an NBA championship. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund.
I talked with Bernie before the game, asked him what he was going to talk to Chris Webber about, and bouncing back from the disappointing game one, he said nothing. He's a smart young man. He'll figure this out for himself, and Chris Webber has. 7 for 11 from the field, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of blocked shots, and a steal. Chris Webber having a fine game.
Jaren Jackson called for that foul. That is his 3rd. And for the Bulls, their 3rd team foul. 9:50 remaining in this 4th quarter. Bulls 88 and the Bullets 84. Earlier today on NBC, the Miami Heat with another convincing victory over the Orlando Magic. Michael Jordan with 39 points. So Miami up 2-0 in that best of 5. And the Lakers also make it to 2-0 as they defeat Portland 107-93. Rasheed Wallace with 20 points, but Shaquille O'Neal with another strong ball game. Well, Chris Webber now 7 of 12 from the field. Has not scored in the second half.
I spent some time on the bench in that second quarter, starting to drift again and float on that perimeter. He's got to start hanging around the basket where he can do a lot of damage. Michael Jordan working on Jaren Jackson, a good defensive player. A little change of pace move, and the fadeaway that he has really developed the last couple of years since coming back from baseball. He just feels so comfortable with that shot, and it's a difficult shot because you're shooting as you're moving. It's difficult enough to shoot when you jump straight up in the air, but Michael Jordan just has such a terrific touch with that shot. Look at this career playoffs for Michael Jordan. 140 games, 34 points, all-time NBA leader in scoring. Michael Jordan really does the job in the playoffs, as you would expect.
He is 8 for 8 at the line, 41 points in all. The Bulls 92 and the Bullets 84. Webber handling against Rodman. Now Jordan back defending Strickland. Shot clock at 6. Strickland stripped by Rodman. Here is Jordan. Strickland able to use the three. He's been off. And for Rodman, rebound number 7.
Well, the ball has been put in Ron Strickland's hands to make good decisions. Previous possession tries to post up Michael Jordan, not a good idea, and then rushes the jump shot against Steve Kerr.
Nice pass, but Caffey had stepped out of bounds. He actually came from out of bounds to handle that pass.
Now Bernie Bickerstaff trying to help his team get into some kind of a play. They're going to run those baseline screens again, either trying to free up Tracy Murray or Calbert Cheaney coming off the baseline.
Murray putting the move on Kukoc. Kukoc with the block.
Now Tracy Murray being taken off that jump shot. Kukoc had problems with Murray in the first half. This time staying very close and coming across his body with the left arm. Usually, oh, what a pass by Webber.
Murray was able to field it after it was deflected away.
Oh, Webber with a spectacular jump pass one in. He has connected on a couple of 3 now beautiful passes, but he's apt to throw one in the stands.
Bulls 92, Bullets 86. Beautiful lead from Pippen, but Kukoc blew the layup. Cheaney, yes. And the Bullets hang in. 7.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Bulls lead is down to 4, and Chicago takes a timeout.
On a previous possession, underneath out of bounds, Chris Webber coming over to set a screen for Juwan Howard. Going to jump in the air, already having eye contact with Tracy Murray. on the high pass, one hand inside to Murray, although he fumbled it and just had such good position, able to get it up and in.
7.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bulls led by as many as 11. They came from behind. They were trailing most of the way, down by as many as 7. But the Bullets are within 4. Trying to tie the series at 1. Chicago looking to go up 2-zip. We haven't seen that move in some time. Going baseline and extending. Michael Jordan with 43 points, and the Bulls lead by 6. Weber inside, and Cheaney converts.
Chris Weber, in effect, has become the point center as he is staying primarily on the perimeter, but making some terrific passes to players underneath. But I think for the Bullets to do well, he's got to get closer to the basket.
Pippen for 3. He's been quiet in the second half. Longley able to keep that rebound alive. Pippen picked up by Howard. Longley with the room. And deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulls.
Well, Scottie Pippen has been almost passive in this second half, as all 11 of his points in the first half has only taken 2 shots in this second half. Does have 7 rebounds and 4 assists, but it's been the Michael Jordan show. A lot of Chicago Bulls standing around deferring and watching Michael do his thing.
In fact, Matt Pippen and Kukoc have not scored in the second half. Longley with the block. And the Bulls in the open floor. Pippen knocked away. Howard slowed it down. Here's Jordan. Rebounded by Cheaney. 4-point Chicago lead with 5:40 remaining in the fourth. Oh, Weber with the stroke from downtown. So Chris Weber cuts it to a 1-point lead. Open shot for Pippen. Rodman with the rebound. Jordan again taking it to the basket. Well, Michael Jordan, for the most part, has been doing it with jump shots. But he's hit 2 in a row off the dribble.
Another isolation for Weber. Made the jumper. And you have a pretty good idea that able to draw out Longley this time, trying to take him to the basket. But Michael Jordan here working against the taller, slower Juwan Howard, able to get the step and the explosive finish on the throwdown, getting by Juwan Howard. No weak side help defensively.
And offensive foul. And that is a critical call. It's number 5 on Chris Weber.
Well, I've been calling for Chris Weber to get around the basket, drive the basket much more. He must know a lot better. He has done most of his damage on the outside here, because once he puts the ball on the floor, he is so often out of control. But he just looks so comfortable outside. He made the three-pointer, has made a lot of passes. But with that size and ability to get up on the glass, he has to mix it up and get some balance.
A moment ago, hit the 3, his first points of the second half. He had 17 at halftime, now has 20. 4:50 to go in this fourth quarter. Timeout has been taken, and the Bulls by 3. Michael Jordan, 45 points during the regular season. He is hit for 40+ on 8 occasions. His season high and the NBA season high, 51.
Tracy Murray just doesn't have a chance on the perimeter against Michael Jordan. Just does not have the ability to bend those knees. And you see opening up the middle for Michael Jordan. Rod Strickland too late getting over, and Michael Jordan exploding again. Not with the dunk, but just able to flip it over Chris Weber.
Michael Jordan, game 1, 12 of 25, 29 points. Did much of the damage in the fourth quarter. And 45 and counting here tonight. His all-time playoff high, 63 against the Boston Celtics, April of '86. Jordan with the fake. Yes. Make it 47 for Jordan. And the Bulls lead 98-93.
Bullets not double teaming. Rod Strickland stayed at home with the dangerous Kerr on the perimeter and let Jordan work on Cheaney.
Weber had it knocked loose. And Pippen controlling the dribble. Jordan setting it up on Cheaney. Just laid away. Standing ovation from this capacity crowd in Chicago.
The Washington Bullets choosing to play Michael Jordan primarily with single coverage, able to take it, get Calbert Cheaney in the air, shed in, and knock down another jump shot as Michael is really feeling it, and then getting by Cheaney, stumbling, looking like he's losing his balance, getting a hand in his face, falling backwards, and Michael Jordan, take a look one more time as Michael Jordan can do no wrong.
He has scored all 14 Chicago points in the fourth quarter. Matt, looking at his teammates, you know they've seen many extraordinary performances, but they have been looking at each other every time Jordan has performed here in this fourth quarter and come through with an incredible shot. They cannot believe what they're watching. Foul on Hopper, his third. Mentioned earlier in NBA playoff history, the highest scoring game, Jordan with 63 and 86 at Boston with a 61-point affair. Bill saying, keep doing what you were doing. Excellent advice.
And if you want to call it a problem, what happens is a lot of the other players will stand around and watch and enjoy, but you have to be ready. You got to think some double teams are going to come as soon as he catches the ball, get the ball out of his hands. But keep in mind, the Bullets are well within range of this ballgame, trailing by just 5, 3:45 to go in the fourth.
Now Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley on the floor. Chris Webber is playing with the 5 fouls. Here's Jordan. Murray with the rebound. Good play by Tracy Murray.
And Chris Webber was ready to come and help. He stayed on that same side as his man cleared out, ready to help on Jordan.
Cheaney feeling for Jordan. Shot clock at 5. Cheaney. Calbert Cheaney has had an outstanding game. He has 24 points. And the Bullets are within 3. What a performance by the Washington Bullets, one of the up-and-coming teams in the NBA. Starting lineup averaging just under 26 years of age. Pippen for 3. The Bulls lead 103-97.
Scottie Pippen's first field goal of the second half now has 14 points. Little half-court trap by the Bullets to try to break the rhythm and somehow keep the ball out of Jordan's hands. They did it, and Pippen burns them.
Jordan got involved with Cheaney and called for the foul, his second. Well, stay with us tonight right here on NBC, starting at 8:30, 7:30 Central. The blockbuster action movie starring Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep, The River Wild. That'll be right after an all-new Third Rock here on NBC tonight. Calbert Cheaney now 5 for 5 at the line. Game 3 of this best-of-5 Eastern Conference first-round series will shift to the Washington area in Landover on Wednesday. The tip missed by Longley. It's a 4-point Chicago lead with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the fourth. Strickland backing Kerr. Webber shaking off Longley, setting up for Murray. And Kerr able to run it down.
Once again, the half-court trap by Washington. They've kept the ball out of Jordan's hands as far as getting in the scoring area in the last 2 times.
Michael Jordan with 49 points. He's had 7 playoff games of 50-plus or more. A minute and a half remaining. 49 points represents the most since Jordan at 55 and 54 in '93. And a foul against the Bulls. Foul on Rodman. A look at the Michael Jordan personal best list in playoff competition. 63 at Boston. He had 56 in '92. Against the Heat, 55 back in '88 against Cleveland, and did it against Phoenix. There's Chris Webber, who struggles at the line. He's 1 of 5 tonight.
56.5% on the year. Actually improved his foul shooting the last month of the season, or I should say the last 10 games of the regular season. But just as you mentioned, Mark, a 1 for 5 after making a good, strong drive against Luke Longley.
And Chris Webber getting the treatment from the crowd. Well, both teams crashing the boards, and Steve Kerr got caught in the collision and went down.
And Steve Kerr's nose, I think, is bleeding.
3-point Chicago lead. The officials have not spotted it. They will blow the whistle when they see the blood. Shot clock at 7. Jordan eluding Cheaney. Make it 51 for Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is making such hard moves off the dribble that even the more aggressive the defense, you're going to run by him. He is just stopping on that dime.
And the reach-in foul on Jordan.
Calbert Cheaney has gotten burned time and time again, working very hard, but running by Michael Jordan, going for those pump fakes, trying to challenge shots. But Michael's moves have just been so definitive all night long.
And Michael traveling on his own personal list up to 51, passing by 2 previous 50-point games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're down to 53 and 6/10 seconds to go in the 4th. They've spotted the blood on the nose of Steve Kerr. Chip Schaefer, the Bulls trainer, checking it out, and Kerr will sit down, replaced by Hoffer. Strickland to the line with the Bulls over the limit. Rod Strickland is now 5 of 5 at the line.
Well, on the last free throw shooting situation with the poor foul shooter Webber, as actually Steve Kerr running into his own teammate Michael Jordan, as Calbert Cheaney crossed from behind, and Steve Kerr took the worst of that.
The Washington Bullets are within 3, despite the exploits of Jordan. Despite the fact that the Bulls have led by as many as 11, they have not been able to put the Bullets away. We're down to 42 seconds remaining. The Bulls with the ball and a 3-point lead. Jordan double team, beating the guard. 53 for Jordan. The Bulls lead by 5, and the Bullets call for time.
Well, Michael Jordan popping out, being pressured by Calbert Cheaney, and Juwan Howard is going to come out to double team, but when he stands straight up, picks his own man up, and basically ushers Michael Jordan right to the basket, as I think the Bullets were thinking if Dennis Rodman had touched the ball, they would foul him. Dennis wisely stayed away from it.
Well, there have been 24 players who have scored 50 or more in the NBA playoffs, and Michael Jordan has done it now 8 times. Calbert Cheaney unable to hit. And we're down to 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Bulls 107, Bullets 102. The next foul for Washington puts them over the limit. And the Bulls spreading it out, just working the clock. Webber now picking up Jordan. Webber has 5. And Webber leaning in on Jordan. And it's on Webber. That's number 6.
Well, Michael Jordan wisely kept the ball in his hands for much of maybe about 12 or 13 seconds. Made a couple of quick passes, got the ball out as Washington wanted to get it out of his hands and put somebody else on the free throw line. Chris Webber had a very good first half, a quiet second half as far as scoring, had the foul problems, made some terrific passes, but really never got in and around the basket to do some damage.
Only 4 points in the second half for Webber. And Michael Jordan to the line. He's 8 of 8 at the line. If he hits both, it'll be 55 points, equaling the most that he has scored since the return from his retirement. He had that 55-point game against the New York Knicks.
Boy, there's a lot of circles there. The red ones are the good ones. You can see that. Michael Jordan did it all over the place.
Bullets do not have any timeouts remaining. Jordan has scored 19 of the Bulls' 22 points. Make it 20 of 23 in the fourth. He has 55 points. This will go down as one of the extraordinary playoff performances in the history of the NBA. Michael Jordan has taken over in the second half, and the Bulls defeat the Bullets 109 to 104. The stat line on Jordan, 21. Make it 22 of 35 from the field, 9 of 9 from the line for 55 points.